Hello and welcome to the first episode of Chino and the Hills. I'm your host, Thomas Ryan. The aim of this podcast is for you, the listener or viewer, to get to know people who work and or live in Chino and Chino Hills. I intend to sit down with people from all walks of life, from small business owners, public officials, community organizers, and common citizens. Ultimately, we will become better acquainted with our neighbors while learning about the events and organizations they're involved in. With that being said, welcome to Chino and the Hills. Today, for the first episode, I will be sitting down with Denise Barr, a longtime Chino Hills resident and the original creator of the Facebook group Chino Hills Connections. We'll talk community, family, and even her favorite restaurants. Enjoy! Hello and welcome. Yes, this is the first episode of Chino and the Hills, and I'm fortunate to have my first guest here, Denise Barr. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's going to be quite a journey. We're here sitting in Roscoe's right now, and we're going to might have some background noise from chairs moving and cases of deli meat and beers being dropped in, but we'll bear with it. So we'll just get right into the questions. How about that? So first off, how about you just tell us kind of who you are, where you grew up, which is kind of your origin story, and ultimately how you ended up in Chino Hills.
Those are all good questions. Very great questions. Well, my name is Denise Barr. I have lived in Chino Hills since 2001. I grew up, I was born and raised in Whittier. Well, I was born in La Mirada, raised in Whittier, California, and went to school there until I was in 6th grade. My family ended up moving to Aurora, Colorado. It's a very fun word to say, Aurora. Where I was there until I was 16, and at that point my parents got divorced. So my dad and I decided we're going to go back to California where my family is. But I really wanted to move back to the same city I grew up in, just so it would be an easier transition. I already knew everything. So I went back to the same high school that I would have gone to had I never moved. And at that point, I worked at the movie theater and Baskin Robbins.
Number one.
I worked at the movie theater and Baskin Robbins and attended Lucerna High School. And I honestly didn't ever think I was going to go to college. I always wanted to be a police officer. But
You'd be too nice.
And I get scared a lot. You can come up behind me and go poo, and that would not be good if I had a gun in my hand. Yeah. So I don't know. Plus, I had knee surgery, and so I tried. I tried out for several different departments, and I would make everything up until that final physical, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, no, sorry." So I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, but I did end up putting myself through college. And
where'd you go?
I started off at Fullerton Junior College. Okay. Now, this is coming from someone whose parents never ever talked about college.
Right.
None of us in my family ever went to college. I think there was chatter in my family, not necessarily directly to me, but as a kid, you know what people are saying about you. I'm pretty sure my family thought I was going to be barefoot and pregnant and, drop out of high school. And I didn't get that great of grades in high school. I actually had some learning disabilities. So for me, high school was very difficult. But somehow I grew out of it, and I went to college. And after realizing I was not going to be a police officer, I had to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And I realized I loved to talk. To talk. So I went into the broadcast journalism department, and I transferred over to Cal State Fullerton. And at that time, I actually got a job with the Capital Group. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Sounds familiar.
It's their little tagline is, "We're the largest financial company that you will never see advertised."
Got it.
Which was great. And when I was there, they actually paid for me to go to college.
Wow.
So I finished up Cal State Fullerton my last 2 years, getting my college paid for by the company I worked with. Finished up broadcast journalism, and never did anything with it because my husband and I got pregnant, had our first kid, and I decided to stay home.
There you go.
So we have lived in Anaheim Hills. I've been married since 1999. And we lived in Anaheim Hills, but it was time for us to start thinking about a family. And all of his police officer friends were moving out to Chino Hills. It was like it was the fire.
Right.
And I remember we came out at night once, and we were here at night, but we fell in love with the city. And so we made every weekend after that a weekend where we would go and we just look around and try to figure out which area in Chino Hills we wanted to live in.
And what year was this again?
2001.
Okay.
Yeah. So we settled over by Altera Park, where there's the Albertsons down there. They had, I think they started building Chino Hills High. They just finished Wickman, so we're like strategically planning ourselves.
Yeah.
We have a cul-de-sac. We've got, at the time, they didn't have the houses off of Slate, off of Highview and Glenview. Those weren't there.
Yeah.
So in the morning when we'd wake up, we'd hear horses galloping on the hills above us, and we're like, oh my God, it's like the hills are alive in Chino Hills.
For a while.
For like 2 months. And then they started developing. But we strategically planned ourselves, so new elementary school, junior high was not too far away, brand new high school, close to the freeway. We loved our Albertsons. We were like, oh, we're in a small town. And we just ended up living here. But as soon as I moved here, I worked for a few months, got pregnant, worked all the way up until I went into labor, and then stayed at home and tried to have to figure out what I was going to do to figure out my community. And so that's how I got here today.
Nice. Good for you. Almost 20 years.
You have to put it in perspective like that. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I still feel like I'm 26.
Well, you've been in the community for almost 20 years. What is it? What do you do in the community? How are you involved? Kind of what? Any organizations or businesses you're involved with?
Yeah, that'll kind of just happen. I remember I was sitting at home one day. My youngest, I have 3 boys. My youngest was he was 2, and he was napping. And I remember I was trying to think of if I ever needed a plumber. What am I going to do? We don't really have the yellow pages anymore. You can go online, but how do you know who's a reputable plumber, right? And I had just had a screen door company come to my house, make the back screen door to my house, like in my front yard, and put it there. I thought it was so cool. This guy came with this truck. And so I remember sitting in our office. It was a shared office at the time. It's not anymore. It's my own.
At home. Home office.
At home. My home office. Where I did nothing as a stay-at-home mom and played, Facebook games, like Farmville and Cityville. That's how I spent my time. But I was sitting on Facebook and I thought, how am I going to let everybody know about this amazing screen door guy that just came? Everybody needs to know about this. But then I thought, my Colorado friends aren't going to get moved about it. Neither are my Whittier friends. And then I remembered that someone had created a Facebook group for our theater employees. The past theater employees. I was like, I could create a Facebook group. And I could just throw all my friends in Chino Hills in there and just kind of have it be like a local Facebook group. Yeah. And so I did that. And I don't remember if there was another name. I think there was. But I ended up settling on Chino Hills Connections. And as I'm building this group, I'm thinking, this would be great. Everybody can share what's going on in the city. I know we get that little city pamphlet, but, people in the city can share what's going on, and I can ask who their favorite plumber is or electrician, and I think people give good, honest referrals. And I remember the group started to get bigger and bigger, and when the EAPS came up, there was a situation where people were calling it the sandcastle and they didn't like it and so on and so forth. It caused a lot of drama. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, this group that I kind of abandoned for a little while because I just let it run on its own. I realized, oh my gosh, this actually needs to be monitored. So I really started monitoring it, and a lot of the people in the city loved the group. They wanted to have some big party. And, being the administrator of the group, obviously I had to put something together. And I remember at one point, some guy, his name was Peter Rogers, his name is still Peter Rogers, put in the thread, why don't you guys use McCoy's Equestrian Center? And I responded back to him in a kind of, not snotty, but like funny, snotty way. Oh, well, he's going to pay for that, Peter. Because I'm like, I can't pay for that. And I remember once I was like, no, I'll go look at McCoy's. So I went into McCoy's and I turned around and looked on the wall, and there was Peter Rogers, mayor. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I just met the mayor.
That's when I met the mayor.
So, I actually became very good friends. And through creating this group, I know that it's kind of like a leading into your question. But through this group, I've met so many people who have wonderful foundations. I got involved with Let It Be. So two of my sons were actually a part of it. One had to back out because he's an actor. It was too much for him. But we do a lot of stuff with Let It Be. Chino Community House. We've helped with things like that. And I've learned of Isaiah's Rock through this. And Veronica Kimball, every Christmas collects turkeys and the socks and everything. So I've helped out with that as well. And I think that group was a blessing for our community. It could go both ways. It's a blessing and it's also a pain in my butt sometimes. But it has brought so many people together, and I think our community is stronger because of social media.
I think I've been part of it for a long time, and I think it definitely went through a phase where there was a lot of drama and just unnecessary stuff, and you find that online. But I think once it was moderated and we got through past it, I feel like
growing stage.
Yeah, and which I thought, okay, maybe this it might kind of detract from future people using it, but then I think it just kind of got past that. And I feel like of course you're gonna get this every now and then, but I feel like overall it's been a pretty great community effort to keep it going.
And the funny thing is, I've had people meet me and ask me, so why did you start that? I heard it's because you wanted to be mayor. I heard it's because you had a political agenda. And if you know me, I am the least political person out there. It drives my husband crazy. He's very political, and I'm so not. I really don't like to watch the news. I like to keep things around me very positive due to some health issues that I had. I don't like to stress out. Just everything, I like to smell the roses. And so that's how I like that group to run too.
And I think that's why it's been successful. It's just genuine. You know, the start of it was just genuine. Like, I just wanted to share a positive review on a screen door, and
I thought we could all help with it. And
that's
what I love. So honest promotions, honest reviews. And one thing I know a lot of people don't like this, but I don't allow bashing of businesses or putting bad reviews in there, because you just never know. It could be somebody who's just a pain in the butt, and they just want to put that business down because they feel like they were treated poorly. If they really weren't. So I can't moderate that. I can't vet that, moderate that. So I just, will guide people to go to Yelp to do something like that, because that way the business can, at least come back on that.
It's hard to trust one bad review, but 1,000 positive reviews, you can
exactly
trust that. So you mentioned your kids. Are they involved in the community and sports?
Actually, my oldest is now 16, driving. Thank goodness. That really helps us out a lot. And from a very young age, I've always wanted my kids to know that, we're very lucky where we live, the community we live in, but there are also other people out there that are not so lucky. So I might not necessarily drive out to LA to do things, but every time we have a chance, I make sure that all three of my boys will go help at Isaiah's Rock or God's Pantry, anything where we can give back to the community at our time. When David was old enough, my oldest, he's the 16-year-old, I had him put an application in for the Let It Be Foundation, and he was accepted as one of their junior links team members, and he's been in there, now he's a junior in high school, so he's been in there since 7th grade. So they do a lot for the community. And then he's also a junior fire explorer, and they also give back to the community. So we do a lot of giving back. And the same thing with my second son, Andrew. I don't like to use the word middle son.
I'm a middle child. So.
We've never had that word middle child. I've never said that, because everyone's like, oh, you're going to have a middle child. So I'm like, he's my second oldest or my second youngest. Whatever way you want to look at it. So we've all just done the same thing. He got into Let It Be when he was in 7th grade, but it was just too hard for his schedule. So he actually does community theater, which, they didn't get paid for that, but now he's paid after. So he'll do both. But I think that's also giving back to the community as well, because they're entertaining people. And then we'll go and help feed the homeless. And there have been several Christmases where we've actually gone and helped to feed, not the homeless, but needy, I guess you can say. Very PC on how you say things. and hand out Christmas presents too. So we've done that. And my youngest is he's in 6th grade. He's too young. His name's Adam to be in letterman yet, but he does plan on going in there. And I just always encourage them to give back, even though they are teenagers, they are boys, they do love their electronics. But as much as we can, we like to try to give back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of the community, what is your favorite part about our community?
So it does go back to the social media, and I might get a little teary-eyed about this.
I told you not to.
I know. Oh, it's going to happen. I'm very emotional. It started off with Chino Hills Connections when a little boy, I don't know if you remember him, he died at the community park probably 6 years ago, maybe now. I don't know. Do you remember?
Kind of rings a bell, yeah.
He was playing at the park and just fell over and died. And everybody was messaging me. It was Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I'm sitting at home with my family and I'm getting all these messages. Whoever died. It's going crazy on Chino Hills Connections. What if he did? What if he didn't die? And we're putting it out there. So I had to take hold of all those posts. I had to get rid of them. I got involved in his family's life. Not really wanting to because I wanted to protect them. And the community, I don't remember how much it was, but the community got together and raised several thousands of dollars for this family. And we all got together, and not all of us, but a lot of people went to the funeral. Kids, the Little League and pony baseball teams recognized him and remembered him, and it was at that point that I realized how powerful our community is, even though we have, what do they call them, keyboard
warriors.
Yeah, even though we have keyboard warriors. Those are just a handful of people in our community. Yeah. For the most part, this community will pull together at any time. That was the pivotal point that I saw. And since then, there have been so many other things like the young high school girl, Lexi, who needed art, and the things that our community did for that. Yeah. And on the same time of Lexi, there was Riley, who went to junior high with my son, who had a brain aneurysm, and they were both in the same hospital together. And so when it comes to kids, and anybody else, but when it really comes to our community, especially kids, this community rallies. And I think that is my favorite thing about this community.
We're going to take a lighthearted shift.
Yeah. I'm all emotional.
And I know we're in Roscoe's, but can you tell me what your favorite restaurant is in Chino or Chino Hills?
Okay, so is it okay to have a couple?
Sure.
Okay, so our family loves sushi, and we have a tradition for every birthday, every anniversary, every celebration. Instead of going out for ice cream, we will go to, I think the name is Shima now. Okay. It's over by Veterans Park, but it's gone through a lot of hands of owners.
Right.
But we've always supported that sushi place. They had closed down, but I just recently heard that they're going to be coming back as Maze and Me. It was that one. I love the place. It's a little bit pricey for me. However, I would take our Chino Hills admins there and thank them for helping out. Because we don't get paid, but I will do twice a year. I like to take them out.
Yeah.
For them.
How many are there?
Well, actively there's 4 of us ladies. We have a couple of other people that will pop in here.
Sure, yeah. Helpers.
Yeah. We've got, is it okay to say?
Feel free, yeah.
Laura Montague, our resident dog warrior, and Tanya Santos. I remember, I didn't know who she was, but every time I would go with him, she would stop me and be like, oh my gosh, did you see what happened on Chino? That person they need to go. Yeah. And so I really looked at her as someone who could help. And then Kathy Arata is also a good friend of Laura's. And so we all have different personalities, which I think is perfect for that page. So, sometimes there's things that get deleted that I might not think is necessarily deletable, but, we'll have communication about it. But that was a really big side note. Sorry. But then also in Chino, I have to give a shout out to Owens. It's not somewhere we can go all the time, but definitely love Chef James and Denise. and we'll go there on occasion for anniversaries or celebrations, and they're just an amazing staple in Chino.
We have yet to go there, but we always are trying to go, and we
Yeah.
always think about it last minute, and then
Well,
it's too late.
if you don't make a reservation, they have a bar area.
Yeah,
So if you guys,
like late night bar and stuff like that.
and he'll do some sushi stuff.
Yeah.
So if you follow him on Facebook, you'll see if he'll throw out there, hey, like they might have some extra, maybe it's not busy, and he'll still have to throw out.
Right.
You know, he's really nice.
Very good. Good choices.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. If you could have a billboard in the middle of the 71 freeway, right in between Chino and Chino Hills, what would it say?
Oh.
What would the image be?
Okay, so I am a health coach, and in the same scope of starting Chino Hills to help people, or Chino Hills Connections, I didn't start Chino Hills. Starting Chino Hills Connections to help people, I ended up getting sick myself and found a company that helped me get better through natural eating. It's a holistic approach. So I think my billboard would say, why wait for tomorrow when you can change today? And then put something like all natural, organic, healthy food, make it a lifestyle. Something like that. I'd perfect it, but I think something like that because I'm very passionate about health and wellness.
Got it. What's the best advice you ever given? Has nothing to do with community. Just
Don't quit.
And you've lived that.
Yeah. No, I never quit. If I decide something, I have a decided heart, and I don't quit. Just because things get hard. I mean, in order to succeed in life, you have to fail. How do you learn if you don't fail? So if I give up and quit, then I'm only failing myself. And everybody.
Is there anything I should have asked you? We know each other personally from before, and
Yes, we do.
I've learned a couple things today, which has been great. But is there anything I should have asked you? Is there any upcoming events or anything that you like to plug or anything like that?
What month are we?
Still in January.
We're in January.
2020.
I'm a very big supporter of the Let It Be. So they do have a run that they do in May. So that you've got a couple months to do that. And I hear you're running 5Ks every day.
Yeah, we got Run for Russ coming up this weekend as well.
That's this weekend?
That's this
Oh.
weekend. I don't know if this is going to air by the time that happens, but that's
we always support
Saturday.
Run for Russ. I didn't realize it was right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to talk to my kids.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. I've seen you there in the past. So Run for Russ, and then the Let It Be 5K, and then I think they do a 10K as well. And then I don't really know about anything else going on because I'm so focused on helping others get healthy. So, but
Well, that's very important.
yeah.
That's perfect. Okay. Sorry. My bonus question, and I'm going to ask this at the end of every interview, is I'm looking for other people to interview. So who in the community would you recommend that I interview? And would you be able to introduce me to that person if I don't know them?
Yes. I'm gonna guess you're
gonna say, can I ask for more than one person?
Yeah, we can go
And you
more
can.
than one person. Laura Montague. I mean, she has been nominated. Was it Person of the Year, not Woman of the Year, but Citizen of the Year or whatever a couple years ago. I'm sorry, I'm not good with things like that. And then I'll tell you, I'm not a political person, but I really adore and admire Peter Rogers. I think he does a lot of great things for our community. And he's always there and very friendly and someone that you can always talk to. So I think those two people are they're incredible pillars of our community. They're definitely two of the 8 posts that I believe that we need for life. So those would be my two.
Will you introduce me? I know Laura, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know Peter?
I know Peter, but we're not personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely message him or call him up and just be like, hey, I'm going to have Thomas interview.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have for today.
Those are amazing.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And for being here for the first episode of Chino and the
honored.
Hills.
Chino in the Hills. I'm honored. I love how that combines both Chino and Chino Hills. So, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.